I got frustrated because a lot of people were like, he's just trying to sell a course. This was like early on. Because, and I was like, I have nothing to sell you. I was like, I have nothing to sell you. And so the very first video, I can't remember which one it was. I just said it like, I was just annoyed with this. People just don't know. I was like, I have nothing to sell. I have a 99-cent book.
The king of business online, Alex Hormozi, recently just cashed in on his personal brand, allegedly made 150 million plus, and a lot of people are really mad. I've seen it in the comments on Reddit, I've seen it on my email list, and there's a huge controversy behind this entire thing. And if you've consumed any piece of content from Alex Hormozi, trust me, you're gonna want to hear this all the way to the end. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about my experience at the launch as a VIP. I'm gonna give you an entire summary of the book because I literally went through every single course, already implemented most of this into my business. Plus, I'll give you a link so you can get a book for free. Next, I'm going to show you the sales masterclass that Hormozi put on when he was cashing in on his personal brand. I'm going to tell you exactly why so many people are literally insane. They're mad out of their mind that Alex Hormozi did this. And I'm going to tell you how this is going to change everything in the info/coaching space and why that change is going to be terrible for 99% of entrepreneurs, you included. First things first, my experience as a VIP was honestly, it wasn't the best, right? Essentially, the only thing that you got as a VIP was a pre-order of the book. You got the launch workshop that he essentially gave away, and that was for pre-ordering the book. Then, additionally, you got a YouTube link that was separate from the main ruckus, right? The riffraff, as he called it in his funnel. Now, obviously, Hormozi had to demonstrate the concepts in the book in the launch. That's kind of what he does with everything. With the offers book, he made the book an offer so good people felt stupid saying no. The leads book, he used all 4 of the core principles in the book to advertise the book. And this, the money models book, essentially had to charge something in order for you to get in. He had to sell something in order for him to, make a meta principle out of it. So essentially the VIP was you just pre-ordering the book. Once you pre-ordered the book, you got access to everything early. Now this was a huge benefit because as soon as he dropped it, I went to my email and I literally logged in and I had the entire course right there, which I'll link down below for you guys in the comments so that you guys can access it too. The launch workshop that he included as part of the VIP, he turned into a bonus for the people that bought his $6,000 book donation live, which was a masterclass in sales. We'll get to that. So that launch bonus was pretty valuable. I'll have to see when I actually attend that workshop, but it seems to be pretty valuable. He's literally going to give all of his slides away, and I'll get to like the structure that he was actually using and all the gurus that he actually took it from, which is Hormozi's a genius, right? He isn't breaking stuff. He's not trying to fix stuff that isn't broken. There's 2 main people that he took this entire structure from, the entire structure of his presentation, and he literally used it A through Z. And the link and everything else like that was not very valuable in my opinion, but basically the only thing you got access to was a VIP chat, right? So everybody on the YouTube VIP link was, they paid so you could network in the YouTube chat, but it wasn't anything extraordinarily valuable. Now, I've been watching Hormozi since, he had like 20, 30,000 subscribers because I've been in the info space and he was big in the info space before he was big in, the whole business space. And I have found a lot of respect for the guy over time. Like he's an absolute genius that knows exactly what he's doing. And honestly, I expected no less from this launch. He went 3 days, I believe for 12 hours plus every single day. Man doesn't stop, he's a machine. Now let's get to the book. So I literally watched through every single course module that he released, right? So he essentially, with every single book that he releases, he gives away an entire course for free that you can access, right? I haven't listened to the audiobook yet. I have access to that. I'll link that in the description below as well. Now, I do have a number of books. This is kind of prefacing what I ended up doing when Hormozi pitched his big offer. But I have a number of books and I'll leave that link down in the comments as well. So if you go down to the comments, you'll be able to get the book for free and you just have to pay shipping, something like that. Now, I watched through all the course, haven't listened to the audiobook. The main concept of the book is something Hormozi used to talk about years ago. And it's actually something called client financed acquisition. And I've been talking about this concept a lot. And I was wondering why Hormozi wasn't talking about it. Now it makes sense because he had to essentially put it in his book. So he couldn't talk about it because, he had to release the book. Client finance acquisition or customer finance acquisition is a very fancy equation, but what it boils down to is your customers financing the acquisition of new customers. So essentially, you don't need a marketing budget, right? So the idea is you make enough money on the front end to pay for at least 2 more customers, right? You put that on a credit card, whatever. Let me give you guys a simple example. Let's say I get a new credit card with a limit of, $1,000. I spend that $1,000 on Mark Zuckerberg, right? Meta ads. And in return for that, I have such a good money model, which is a sequence of offers that I liquidate $3,000. And let's say that's from 3 clients, right? Then what I can essentially do is I can pay off the credit card. Then I can use the $2,000 to get $6,000 worth of clients, and then I can keep doing that over and over again. This way, I didn't pay for anything. All I'm doing is I'm getting access to debt, which is easily paid off within 30 days because it's a credit card, and I can keep on doing this again and again and again. Now, the thing is, funny enough, I've been running an offer for a very long time, which is the free 6-week focus challenge, which I actually took from Hormozi's model, right, that he used to run at Gym Launch. And the thing is, like, it's the same exact thing that he talks about in the book. I've been running this for a while. The way that we position it is it's a win your money back offer, right? So essentially, people put money down, we hold them accountable, which is what my company does. We hold entrepreneurs accountable live 24/7 so that they can execute as efficiently as possible. And if they complete a required number of tasks, we give them their money back. But the thing is, because we have 42 days in order for, basically a 42-day window where, we essentially hold their money and we have to give it back, we can use the deposit that they put down to get more customers, right? And that deposit can turn into even more challengers, so on and so forth. And then we upsell them, so on and so forth. And the course, at least, that I watched was extremely valuable because it went into the depths of what this is. So basically, there's 4 types of offers, right? There's attraction offers, there's upsells, there's downsells, and then there's continuity, right? And the thing is, we had a good attraction offer, but I was struggling to convert the people that used to come in on the attraction offer into continuity. That was the hard part. And he literally went through every single one of these and all the best models that you can basically pair all of these 4 offers with. Like, you have one attraction offer, and then you have an upsell, and then you have a downsell for the people that don't buy. It's basically a series of offers, which you can essentially pick and plug into your business from his book that'll literally make you so much money on the front end. All you have to do is, again, spend that money on ads and then make enough money where you can pay for more people to come through your money model. That's essentially the principle of the book. Now, what was the sales masterclass that Hormozi put on? This is going to be absolutely exceptional. Now, the thing is, Hormozi did a webinar, and the thing is, Hormozi's one of his first mentors was actually Russell Brunson. He's the dude that essentially, Hormozi copied his entire business from. And I'm not saying this as an allegation. Everybody does this in the info space. If you look at Gym Launch, it used to be named Gym Launch Secrets. Why was it named Gym Launch Secrets? The reason why is because his mentor, Russell Brunson, his entire business was around secrets. Let me show you. I have all 3 of Russell Brunson's books, but right here. So you have .com secrets, and then you have expert secrets. If you look at Hormozi's first book that not a lot of people know about, which was Gym Launch Secrets, he modeled it after Russell Brunson. So Hormozi's smart in the sense that he actually modeled, he replicated before he actually had to iterate. And the thing is, a lot of people are trying to reinvent the wheel. They don't understand that a lot of times what you have to do is just take what's working and apply it to a different business. Now, this book in particular, Expert Secrets, talks about a concept which is the webinar, right? And Hormozi, every single time he has done a launch, right, except for the offers book, which didn't have a launch, he used the webinar structure that is outlined in the Expert Secrets book. In fact, there's another guy who's from the same world called Jason Fladlin. So this is Russell Brunson, right? If you want to know the ins and outs of how Hormozi did it, this book, Russell Brunson's book, right here, literally talks about, like, you can see right here, the stack slide, how to stack, all the offers that Hormozi did. I'll put a picture of it right here. That entire stack, that entire playbook is right here. And this book is like free right now. All you have to do is pay shipping. Now, obviously, it's like $20 for shipping, but that's a bargain. So Russell Brunson essentially outlined this. And then there's another guy called Jason Fladlin. Jason Fladlin has a book called One to Many, right? And I'm telling you, if you just, I don't know how to spell his last name. If you just take that book, you read it. It's a 14-step structure with a whole bunch of closes. This guy was the most quoted dude in $100 million offers. He wrote a book called One to Many, which was essentially, again, about the same exact thing. I threw the book over there, but it was about webinars. Hormozi literally paid this guy $25,000 to look over his slides for his previous book's launch. So $100 million leads. When it was coming out, Hormozi paid this dude money to look over his slides and check everything. And you can literally see, like, if you read Jason Fladlin's book, which is One to Many, it's literally the same exact structure. And I respect this so much about Hormozi. he basically took what everybody in the space was doing, all the gurus in the info space, he took that stuff and he applied it on a much greater scale to a much better and more leveraged opportunity vehicle, which is private equity, right? He does all of this so that he can end up buying the businesses. And then he cleared almost $150 million in the launch. Now, interestingly, I feel like Hormozi could have actually made a lot more money, but he chose not to. And this is actually speaking to what he was trying to do in this launch. He was trying, as he said himself, to get a book in the hands of every single entrepreneur in America. If he wanted to make high margin, like books, like there's physical costs that you have to incur, right? Even though it's paper and, whatever, he's selling these hardback books. It's not as high margin as he would like it to be, right? He could have sold a course, which he actually upsold right after, and I'll get into the upsells just in a second here, but he could have made something that was much higher margin, but he didn't. Why didn't he do that? The reason why is because, again, he had to keep it consistent with the brand, which is he was selling books for the longest time, and the book is actually extremely valuable. If you read any of Hormozi's books, they're all extremely valuable. Like, in fact, the two books that I just named for you, like, people underestimate how valuable books are compared to courses, coaching, and masterminds. Now, Hormozi actually had two upsells, right? So the first thing, obviously, was the $6,000 upsell, which there's a lot of controversy about because people are like, hey, you have all these playbooks. Why didn't you just give them away for free? I thought you had nothing to sell me. This is it right here. So this is everything that you get when you pay. Well, I guess the offer is, it's ran out now, but you basically get all 12 of these playbooks as a hard copy that are his internal playbooks. Like, these are the playbooks that he uses for every single business that he owns, every single business that he runs. These 4 that he's giving away free when you donate $200. And let me just talk about this. So what a genius copywriter. He understood. See, there's a difference between, buying this stuff for yourself versus donating it. Now you're basically, again, you're the good guy. You're paying him to get his book in the hands of as many people as possible. And he literally broke a Guinness World Record during this launch. You're paying for his marketing, his distribution, and as a result of that, you're getting all of this stuff, but it's not a payment, it's a donation. A lot of people call it an investment, a lot of people call it this and that. When he positioned it as a donation, now all of a sudden he's not selling something. You're basically working with him to embark on a greater goal, which is, again, getting this book in the hands of every single entrepreneur so that everybody can make more money. It's so genius. So again, this was the $6,000 upsell. And then for $18,000, and there's a school community actually with a bunch of these people in it. For $18,000, you basically got access to Hormozi for 6 months, right? So it was $3,000 a month, right? And you basically got access to him and a whole bunch of other stuff. And that was the upsell after that. He didn't make that much money on the upsell. He made like 4 to 5 million, I believe. The bulk of the stuff the bulk of the money that he made actually came from, this $6,000 offer and people buying individual books. I'm not sure, but I think that's the case because in the school community, there are about 250 people roundabout that bought this $18,000 upsell. And if you do the math, again, it comes out to between 4 and 5 million. So again, it's not that much. And this shows like where Hormozi's like advertising dollars went. He really tried to get in that beginner entrepreneur. He wasn't really targeting, the business owner, the established business owner with this event. He was targeting everyone. And because of that, it was much heavier on the $6,000 and the actual, $30 book than it was with anything else. Now, why are people mad? The reason why people are mad, and I've seen this across Reddit, everybody's like, I thought Hormozi was the I have nothing to sell you guy and all this stuff. People are extremely mad, right? And it's mostly Redditors. Redditors are going to be mad at anything and everything. What they're saying is, for $6,000, Hormozi is not giving us, the freebie seekers, the freeloaders. He's not giving us all of these books. Why couldn't he have given this away for free? He's doing fake scarcity. He printed these out, said there were only 25,000 of these, all of this stuff. He's scamming us, right? And I completely disagree with this. The reason why is because, look, I'm a fundamental believer that people that sell courses, coaching, masterminds, all this stuff, they're doing good for the world, right? I 100% believe this with a caveat, which I'll get into in a second. The thing is, being part of this world, I know how valuable all of this stuff is. So I was actually begging Hormozi to sell something for the longest time so that I could get closer access to him. And a lot of entrepreneurs were the same way. When Hormozi launched his workshops, do you think the people that were attracted to the I have nothing to sell you brand were going to his workshops? Do you think it was the people that were attracted to the I have nothing to sell you stuff that bought the $6,000 and the $18,000 upsell? No, it was the people that actually wanted to pay Hormozi for an edge. Now, I think that he could have done better by not making these books. The fact that these are just text at the end of the day, and again, they look like all of his other books, $100 million profit playbook, $100 million, fast cash playbook, $100 million goated ass. They look like his other books. So when a freeloader, a Redditor, sorry, I'm kind of offending you guys here, but when a freeloader sees that, they're like, oh my God, why isn't this free? Right? And they don't understand that, again, this is meant to attract people that want more actionable tactical advice. Now, if he didn't make them books, I feel like he would have done better, right? Then he would have, people wouldn't have made that association. $100 million leads was free, $100 million offers was free, and $100 million money models is free too. But what about, like $100 million playbook should be free too? Again, people wouldn't have made that association. But honestly, he's making more money than me, so he probably knows something I don't. And actually, just to demonstrate what I'm talking about, let's actually go to the Alex Hormozi thread. I'm going to grab some of right here. So the top comment, literally, or the top thread, I don't really know. I'm not a Redditor, but this is it right here. Let's paste it. Okay, Alex Hormozi's world record is very misleading once you see how bundling inflated the numbers with his $6,000 offer. No one who bought the $6,000 offer actually wanted the hundreds of books to give away. That's true. Take those books out of the bundle and the offer still sells just the same, but without the world record. I don't know about all this, but again, people are mad about the 6,000 thing because Hormozi literally just sold. He sold his heart out. Right? He used all the closes that Jason Fladlin and, Russell Brunson teach in their books. Like, he sold his heart out. And a marketer, a true businessman, respects that. Right here, 11 hours ago, did Hormozi just pull the slickest, maybe shadiest move since Zuckerberg turned hot or not into Facebook? Everyone's hyped about ACQ AI right now. But the more I look at it, the more it feels less like a tool for entrepreneurs and more like a data trap dressed up as like people are just making shit up at this point. Like, this is what happens when you sell something to help people. Any person that attempts to sell stuff eventually gets screwed. People are talking about shipping fees, right? So just so you know, Alex made, let me put this on here real quick. Right here. So just so you know, Alex made a bunch of money from shipping fees too. It's not some postal service fees. It's the one he sets up. Shipping to my country was $40. Let's be real. He definitely had deals with the delivery. Like, again, people are mad when you sell something. Whatever it is that you sell, as soon as you try to help people that are actually willing to pay you, all of a sudden, people get mad quick. Another one right here. Alex didn't lie, but created false scarcity for the $6,000 offer. So the guy that just wants to educate us is charging us $6,000, again, for 12 books. That's what people see. They're like, all his books are free, except for these books right here. This feels a bit sketch. I was on board before with his old ethos of, I have nothing to sell you. Again, this is the type of person you attract when you say, I have nothing to sell you. I just want to educate you so when you get successful, I can invest in your company. But where does asking for $6,000 for 12 books fall into that? Seems pretty sus at this point. But bottom line is, people are mad because he sold something, right? And he's been selling something for a long time. He just didn't do it at this scale. He didn't liquidate his personal brand until this very point, and he made $150 million. A lot of people expected him to make a lot more, but the thing is, I feel like his personal brand peaked, and then it kind of had like a little dip, and then he basically cashed out on it. If he did this like, a few months ago, or maybe even a year ago, it would have been a lot bigger, maybe $200-300 million. And again, it's not all margin. It's physical books that he's shipping out. Now, I 100% believe that everything will change after the release of this book, and I'll tell you exactly why. Now, I was running the free 6-week focus challenge. When I went through this Money Models course, it was absolutely ridiculous, the amount of information that he's giving in. And Hormozi, with his books historically, has always created a massive wave in all this stuff that he's... So basically, like, the only book that I would say didn't create a huge wave was $100 million leads. $100 million offers, let me write everything will change here. $100 million offers basically created this huge shift in the info world where people started offering these crazy guarantees, so on and so forth. This is going to change the game as well. People are going to be getting better offers, but basically you're going to see a lot of copy and paste stuff. This is going to make it hard for me because having watched Hormozi's old videos, applying the concepts from his businesses, gym launch and all that stuff, I actually ran the free 6-week focus challenge very successfully, which still is running, by the way. And if you're interested, see, I got something to sell. Everybody got something to sell you. It's a free 6-week focus challenge. It's a win your your money back offer. If you're interested and if you qualify, there's going to be a link down below in the description. But people are basically going to start copying and pasting all these offers in, and you're basically going to start seeing, before it was like you see a whole bunch of guarantees. Now you're going to be seeing a lot of people offering free stuff, free win your money back offers, all this stuff that's going to give a better end result to the customer. But there's another thing that'll change, is that now there's a huge portion of these, entrepreneurs. So basically there's two types of people. There's the entrepreneur and there's the wantrepreneur. The entrepreneur is the person that actually takes action. The wantrepreneur is the person that just sits on the sidelines. They start a business here or there. They, basically have, a drop shipping store here, and then they start an SMMA there. These are all the people that get funneled into the business world through BizOp, business opportunity, right? That's what we call it in our world here, right? All the people that sell business opportunity, make money offers, they bring in more wantrepreneurs than entrepreneurs. And the thing is, even when you look at entrepreneurs, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that are addicted to consumption. They read the books, they watch the courses, they pay, but they don't actually execute. This is the company. And this is the problem that I've set out to solve. I have essentially gone to war with the info world because all of the people are selling information. Nobody's selling execution. Nobody's teaching you how you can consistently execute on the right things. Now, there's a lot of these people, when they saw Alex Hormozi sell, they're like, no, I hate the business world. And now they're not going to watch anything ever again. But a whole bunch of these people are now going to enter this world. They're going to enter the business opportunity world. They're going to start buying all these courses. They're going to start buying these masterminds. They're going to eventually, it's going to trickle down, right? So this is how the BizOp funnel works. And I started off here, right? I got sold a dream by some guru selling a course, and I'm glad that happened. But basically at the top, you have all these people that are like, oh, business is really easy. All I got to do is buy Alex Hormozi's book, so on and so forth. And then, basically just trickles down until you have the few successful entrepreneurs that actually come out. And the difference between the people that are up here and the people that are down here is not info. And this is the main misunderstanding that's going to hurt 99% of entrepreneurs, which brings me to my last point. Info worship is what I like to call it. Everybody thinks that the newest tactics, the newest strategy, so on and so forth, is what's going to make them money. I'm telling you, if you're making money right now, you're probably better off not trying to implement any of the money models. I'm telling you. And this is probably controversial, but the reason why I'm saying this is because when you change shit, you break shit. A lot of entrepreneurs are out here chasing new opportunities, when if you just double down on the thing that works, the thing that you already have that works, then you don't need to do anything, right? You basically just need to scale that up. Now, if you try changing things, you're entering a whole new game. And this info worship, what it causes is, again, an addiction to consumption instead of execution. And this is what most of these people that enter the BizOp world, through the BizOp world, the business opportunity world, or the entrepreneurs, the people that are kind of getting their feet wet, they're not diving straight into the meat of running their businesses. Soon as they come in, they realize business is a lot harder than they actually thought. And the thing is, again, the distinguisher between the entrepreneurs that fail and the entrepreneurs that succeed is not the tactic, it's not the information, it's the execution. It's consistent, reliable execution. And the way that you actually get consistent, reliable, repeatable execution is by getting accountability, whether that's in the form of paying for a course, paying for a mastermind, paying somebody else money so that you actually follow through on your promises, or whether it's just getting accountability in the form of a business partner or a team or payroll. Why do entrepreneurs that have kids make more money than entrepreneurs that don't? This is a statistic, because they're kept accountable by the fact that they got to pay for their wives, for their children, so on and so forth. This is why married entrepreneurs make more money. And if you just want to look at a simpler example, if you look at any top performing athlete, a top performing athlete at any level, you'll see that they have one thing in common. They all have coaches. Now, is the coach better than the athlete? No. But the coach basically provides as a means of professional, external accountability, which are the two prerequisites to actually having proper accountability. It has to be professional and external. It can't be your mom or your dad, and it can't be you, because that's motivation, and we know how unreliable that is. They provide as a means for professional, external accountability so that you don't just consume the information, so that you don't just watch the YouTube videos, so you don't just mentally masturbate, you actually execute on what matters. Now, the whole reason why I started my company is because I see a gap with all the people that sell information. Nobody's willing to actually hold people accountable. And that's what my company does. What we do is we offer 24/7 live accountability. Literally, we assign every person that joins our Win Your Money Back offer, which is our free 6-week focus challenge, we give all of them a dedicated accountability coach. And the reason why this is so important is because people fall off. all the time. And this is what's going to happen to 99% of the people that are coming into this via this new thing. And heck, maybe you are somewhere in the middle here. Maybe you're making 5K a month or 10K or even 20, 30. We worked with entrepreneurs making upwards of 100K. But the thing is, if you want to be successful, meaning you want to get to that 7 figures per month mark, you're not going to be able to do that unless, again, you're able to actually have somebody hold you accountable. Again, it's like having a personal trainer that literally works with you one-on-one live so that you can give it your all for every single set or every single rep that you do. This is what we provide for free. Now, again, I'm selling here, but if you're interested, you can join our Win Your Money Back offer down in the description below. See if you qualify. Not everybody qualifies. No hard feelings. But ladies and gentlemen, that's essentially the conclusion of this video. If you liked the video, like the video. If you didn't like the video, dislike the video. Leave your hate comments down below. Tell me your guys' thoughts. I'm genuinely curious if you thought Hormozi was smart with this, what he could have done better, what he could have done worse, all of this other stuff. Tell me if you guys also bought the upsell offer, so on and so forth. This is going to be one hell of a comment section. I already know. I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys. Ciao.